Hi, Timothy. How you doing? We went back here to 7-8 assignment 2 discussion, and I got this post from the 26th, which was yesterday. I don't know. I just want to address this. Now, just to be clear, I have abandoned the colorful, distracting background. I think due to the confusion in week 2, you forgot to review the work itself. I understand more of the proper portfolio display. I want to be sure that what's acceptable. And I get that. You want me to look at the actual work itself. And I get that. And I got no problem. Matter of fact, I'll be glad to do that. So here's your work. Now, the one thing I think that is really obvious is the fact that right here you say, I abandoned the colorful, distracting background. But boy, that sure looks like a colorful, distracting background to me. So a little confused there. As far as the work itself goes, I think it's really difficult to see the actual work that you're trying to show. Let me show you some examples, okay? This is portfolio. What is this work here, right here? It doesn't tell us anywhere what this work is. So as a cover, we just immediately look, okay, we know it's a portfolio. There's no branding. There's no name. We don't know whose portfolio it is. So I think that's another thing. And we're going to address that in a second. So that the viewer knows exactly where they are on each page, okay? Then what I want to do is I want to talk about the work itself. So let's look at the work. One of the things I think is a problem is this. I don't know what this is, okay? So it's hard for me to describe or to kind of critique this work without knowing what it is. Likewise here, and that's a perspective sketch. It looks gorgeous. And the work looks good. I mean, I've got no problem with the work. I think the work is good. I just can't really comment on it without knowing what it is. You don't ever want to put a piece in your portfolio without specifically referring or informing the viewer exactly what they're looking at. Okay, and again, I'll show you an example in a moment. So let's jump over to portfolio. Now, you've got your resume, and the one thing I can see on the resume is that it's not on your letterhead. Okay, right down here, you're showing your letterhead, and it's actually a pretty nice looking letterhead. But your letterhead should be used to put your portfolio on. That will further emphasize and further stress and reinforce your branding. So that right there goes on to that right there. And the problem that I'm having with the resume is in terms of branding is you're using completely different colors than you are in your actual branding. So that is a questionable choice right there. I would reformat that resume. In your resume itself, this is reverse chronological order. So your experience, you would list the most recent first. Same thing with your education. Skills, good job. All right. Contact information, we don't have any. So other than well, I guess we do have some. You've got your Quicksilver and your telephone number. Okay, yeah. So there's your email. Okay, excellent. Okay, good job. All right, so that's, and then other than that, I think this is a good-looking stationery, good-looking, nice-looking letterhead, and I don't think you're going to be able to use that. I think there are USPS regulations. They use that area right there for some sort of stamp, so I'm pretty sure that's an area, a no-print zone as far as USPS, United States Post Office regulations. I notice you're using a purple background here, but white background here. So that's enough of an inconsistency to really be a concern. Your main logo is showing a purple background here with a black stroke, while the logo on your card is showing a completely different logo. So that, again, that's a concern. Moving forward to your collateral, individual ad layout, I'm not real sure. You don't want to have to talk about your work in portfolio. If you have to talk about it, this is something I heard a long time ago, 25 years ago when I was in school, and an instructor said, if you have to describe your work, then it's not effective work because the viewer should know exactly what they're looking at. Let me give you an example, okay? When you say design principles, multi-page brochure, do we even need this, or can you just show the multi-page brochure, talk about only a couple of things, and that is, you talk about the name of the project, the software you used, the typefaces you used, and the objective, and that's it. So you don't have to get into this. In this class, we utilize computer applications interfacing with graphic and applied arts. That's, it's, for lack of a better word, that's just, it seems like it's all kind of like filler, you know what I mean? I mean, you're not really telling us anything here. I hope you understand it. And again, I'm going to show you an example, but I think you're just using too much word. It's too wordy. Okay. As far as the work itself, again, I think these pieces look very good, but they're not big enough on the page. So you're actually, most of your page, I would say, boy, at least 3/4 of your page is designated to the title area and describing the piece. Well, you got the little tiny piece over here. Let the work show itself. I do not recommend, I'm not real sure why that looks like it's on the side, but I wouldn't place that on the side. You don't want your viewer to have to tilt their head to the side to be able to view your work. Okay, again, this piece looks great. I mean, your pieces look very good. The work is great. I mean, there's no question about it. You've got a few things, but for the most part, I think the work is very good. We just need to learn how to present it in a more efficient way. Again, okay, so if, for example, here, your thumbnails, let's get those out there, man. We got to see those thumbnails. You got them hidden down in the corner, like almost like you're embarrassed of them. I know you're not, so let's get these out there and show those thumbnails. Portfolio reviewers and hiring professionals love thumbnails. All right, now this is what this piece looks good. I mean, you're telling us everything we need to know. It's good setup. It's just so small in your presentation. Couple of recommendations. Right now, I'm going to pull up my rulers, but I'll be willing to bet that this is set at 8.5 by 11. Let's Command R that, and sure enough, well, actually, you're 8 by 10. Okay, so you're not 8.5 by 11, but think of alternative page sizes for interest. Does it have to be a letter type format? Does it have to be this vertical orientation, or can it be a horizontal orientation? That might be interesting. On each page, you've got this big portfolio up top. Portfolio. By the second or third page, it's like, okay, we know we're in a portfolio already. Let me show you an example of a very, very effective way to show your work. This is very minimal, but again, this is what you want in portfolio. I just want to show you an example. All right, look at the beautiful page size. This, I believe, is 8.5 by 11.75. I'm sorry, 8.5 by 13.75. That's right. This does fall within the golden section. So it's mathematically a very pleasing page, historically and mathematically. Beautiful page. Simple logo presentation. That's it. Let's move on. Little quote. Next page. Okay. We see that just a little description right here. That's it. Stationary. Little description. There's the letterhead blank in the back, filled out one up front. There's the branding, letterhead, the card. Note the grid they're presented in. Note the simplicity of the background. Next page. Here's some more branding stuff. Again, note the consistency of the grid used in the background. Note the consistency of the placement of the text from page to page. Okay, and we just see this beautiful work from page after page. We don't have to like squint, or there's no like really distracting lines and gradients and boxes and alternating layout structures from page to page. It's all very, very consistent. Do you see what I'm saying? And the reason I'm showing you this, Timothy, is because I would like you to move your work in this sort of a direction. Okay, I think that for me, if I were to see this work in a portfolio, I would say, this designer is for some reason reluctant. Why is this designer showing their work so tiny? It almost looks like this designer is trying to hide their work. And I'm just being honest with you. I'm not saying you are or you aren't. If you are, you shouldn't be. It's gorgeous work. Let's get it out there and show it. Okay, a couple more examples from this page. And, you know, you can just see that the grid is just consistent from page to page. Okay, okay, I'm just showing this. Note the consistency, the minimalism of the type treatment in the background. But what's speaking the loudest here, Timothy? It's the work. Look at those thumbnails. Look how gorgeous those thumbnails are. Up front and center, as opposed to tucked down in a little tiny corner there where we can't see them, and hidden behind all of this layers and layers of colors and stripes and text and type. Okay? So I just want to bring that to your attention because I think this was one of the most successful portfolios I've seen while teaching this class, and I teach portfolio and have been for the last, going on 10 years. So I've looked at literally thousands and thousands. And the page format setup, simplicity, minimalist approach to this is screaming, look at the work. and not getting caught up on look at the page and the work is secondary. Okay, I know I took 10 minutes to say this. I'm so sorry this took so long, but I really wanted to get this point across to you regarding the portfolio itself. Now, again, your work looks good. So again, let's show the work. Let's feature the work and be proud of the work. All right. I hope this makes sense, Timothy. Listen, if I can clarify anything, or if anything needs, to be further explained, or if you need anything at all, please get with me and I'll be more than pleased to address the shortcomings that may have come through this video. All right. Hopefully not, but just let me know. All right. Thanks, man.